What's going on, everyone? So I wanted to make another video. Someone commented on the video that I just uploaded this morning, and they asked if I had any more content on kind of the extension of some more practical advice on self-control and beating your body into submission. And I did want to comment, maybe give another word on that. And there's a lot to say on this, but another thing that we need to keep in mind is when it comes to self-control, we need to be honest with ourselves with where we are, right? So there are certain vices that you have. You weren't born clean, right? Like you have a past, and maybe you didn't, put yourself in egregious sins, right? Maybe you didn't get involved in like these grotesque sins. Nonetheless, your mind is wicked, right? You've thought evil thoughts. You've gone down the trail of ideas that are not honoring to God. And so whatever your vice is, whatever your thing is, and again, that doesn't mean you're limited to a thing or two, but there are certain sin patterns that many of us have gone down. And so whatever that is for you, you need to know yourself, and you need to put up guards for that, right? So that you don't go down that path anymore. You need to use wisdom and guard your heart and your mind not to do the things that you're more prone to do. And that may not be a problem or an issue in the life of someone else. Now, I will tell you one thing. For men, and this isn't across the board, however, it is more than likely the case, right? This is a real temptation for men, especially younger men, okay? And that is the issue of lust, right? The issue of looking at a woman lustfully, right? Now, in that case, and again, you fill in the blank, whatever it is, right? But I'm talking in this case to men because this was a man who asked me, and this is a really big snare that Satan lays out for men, especially younger men. And it's this, right? It's this issue of lust. So one real practical thing that a young man can do to guard his heart in the area of lust is to not take the phone with him in the bed, right? That's huge. And that's real practical, like especially the younger generation. Their lives are surrounded around the phone. Like everything they do and everywhere they go, and everything they bring in information from is via phone, right? So don't go to bed with the phone on. Like you shouldn't be going to bed with the phone on anyway. You shouldn't go to bed with your phone. You shouldn't. It's just not it's not good for you, right? For your eyes to be seeing that. But aside from that, the knowing of yourself, okay? Knowing your weaknesses, knowing your vices, anticipating that and making war against those fleshly drawings, those fleshly cravings that you have, that's within you, right? If it's gossip, then you put up barriers for gossip or slander or sins of the tongue, or anger or lust or thievery, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, self-discipline and beating the body into submission says, no, I will not, under no circumstances. And even when it comes to lust, you remember what Job says, I've made a covenant with my eyes not to look upon a woman lustfully, right? So you're making a covenant with a member of your body. And when you think about this member thing, right, it says it's better for your arm to be cut off and your eye to be plucked out, right? And Jesus says, it's better that you enter the kingdom of God maimed, right? You see Joseph when he's being tempted and tested by Potiphar's wife, he leaves his most prized possession behind. The jacket had a sentimental piece with his relationship to his father, right? It gave him, it had like his identity could have been and maybe may have been wrapped in that cloak, wrapped in that jacket. And he was willing to leave behind his earthly identity, right? Or his earthly status or stature behind for the sake of Christ. Come on, y'all, for the sake of God, to glorify God, right? And so that's got to be our mindset. I can't go down this route. And again, we could not go down a route physically, but we can go down a route in our minds, right? And so we say in our minds, I can't go down this route. I can't do this. I'm in a covenant with my wife, or I'm in a covenant with, with my eyes and with God, and you name it, right? Or I'm in a covenant with my husband. I can't do, and so that's the war that we have to think through. And guess what? That isn't a one-time thinking, right? Every single day, every moment, we put on the mind of Christ. And guess what? We have the mind of Christ. And so we are in the process of renewing our minds, thinking God's thoughts, forsaking the world and looking to Christ and fleeing to him and turning away from the sins of the flesh, the world, and the devil, and clinging to Christ and taking him as our own, and knowing that we have the Spirit of God living within us to enable us and strengthen us to do what pleases God. And all that is done by faith. All of that is done by faith. So that being said, I hope this is encouraging to you. I hope this builds you up, edifies you, encourages your soul in your walk with the Lord. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, please consider sharing it. All right, y'all. All the other details are in the description below. Grace and peace. This is the Proverbial Life podcast, where we encourage Christians to look to Christ, live wisely, and leave a legacy behind for generations to follow. Grace and peace, y'all.